Hello and welcome to Three Questions With. I have my friend Deb with us today. Deb is a realtor. Good afternoon, Deb. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Kevin. How are you today?
I just living the dream, my friend. So I want to take in a slightly different direction today. I want to talk about working your network, working your past clients. One of the things I'm amazed about when I bought my house many years ago, realtor, mortgage person, real estate attorney, nobody stayed in touch with me. Nobody sent me a holiday card or, hey, congratulations on 1 year owning your home. There was nothing. To me, that's a huge mistake. Do you agree?
I do agree that losing touch is, it's going to be much harder to get business from people that don't feel connected to you. Yes. So just asking some for business like every year, every year, every month, it's different than creating relationships. So I think because I've been in the business as long as I have a lot of relationships. So there are customers we have Disney in common. So I will update them what I know about Disney, or if there's a concert, or if there's someone that we like, or a performer. I kind of remember the small things so that I can reach out when they come up. A lot of times I don't do a calendar mailing. Sometimes that gets redundant of sorts, but I think the personal touch with people, to remember them in some way, even if it's the anniversary of when they bought their house and how that triggers a memory. So I think I do a lot of that. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Even I like your idea even better.
Yeah.
Just something we have in common, whether it's something as simple as Disney.
Mhm.
Hey, I know you're a big fan too, so I send you a message because to me, that really sticks out in a positive way. Like, oh my God, I bought a house from that woman 15 years ago and she still remembers I'm a Disney fan.
Yeah.
That's impressive and stuff, but it surprises me because even then, what I see that I really like is you sold Grammy a house, you sold mommy a house, and now you're selling their kids' houses
Yeah.
because of the keeping in touch. And hey, she is our realtor, and you really are. You do the whole family and stuff. So that's really cool when you have that, when people are reaching out to you because they trust you enough that they want their children to buy a home from you, right?
Yes. And it does make it more enjoyable to do the work. I mean, to have the connection with the people is rewarding. Everyone wants to get to the close. Everybody wants to get paid, but also enjoying it and having some lasting relationships makes it worthwhile when you're working 15, 16 hours a day for 3 months. It does.
I agree with you about the relationships because, I think about even my own business, there's people that we have relationships with and I enjoy talking to them. They're not clients, they're friends who happen to be a client. They're not clients. That makes a big difference to me because I want to see you be successful. I'm like, oh, I really want Deb to get this and stuff. You must see that all the time.
Well, and one of the ways I've been doing my business, we talked about it briefly, is that I'm calling people, I'm talking to people and asking them what is their 2-year, 4-year, 6-year goals. Because right now, this is kind of a harvesting period. The inventory is low and a lot of people are not pulling the trigger to buy. They're kind of at a holding pattern, and sometimes they don't even know what the holding pattern is or why they're doing it. So I like to give them a little bit of history, like, oh, remember when you bought your house? Well, you came up from Boston because you couldn't afford Boston. So there was a housing crisis. It wasn't affordable in Somerville. That's why you're in Drake now. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Your kids would love to stay in Drake, but you had to move out of Somerville. Here you are. And maybe they're going to have to go a little bit more north. I know you don't want to hear it,
Yeah.
but it's something that you got to think about. And so I think people are starting to remember, well, they're in this Merrimack Valley area is because in the 90s, Boston was not affordable. And here they are.
Yep.
And then they created these wonderful families 20, 30 years later. And now they want their kids to stay here too. And that's a little difficult. So it's talking people off the ledge and also having them understand there has to be an adjustment in their thinking. So if they're going to stay in Drake it, they got to get more money down, or somebody needs to help them, or they got to go more north.
Yep. So Deb, we're both experienced people. I
Yeah.
didn't call us old, so we're both experienced people. And we've seen interest rates much higher than they are now. People like, oh my God, interest rates are crazy. Well, in our time, we've seen them double what they are right now. Life doesn't stop, though. We still have to do things. Sometimes we have to buy or sell a house, regardless of what rates are. So life doesn't stop.
It does not. And then I think if someone grasped the history of over the last 20 years where the interest rates were, I think they would feel better to know that the interest rates, your hair should not be on fire, because they were much worse before 2008 for a long time. And it just took a crash after the second great recession. So they were benefiting from that. But what happened was, by benefiting from the low interest rates, the building stopped. So you don't have a lot of new inventory. So there's the downside. So you had a lot of great interest rates, but that brought the house prices up, and you don't have a lot of new inventory. So if the interest rates start to creep up again, you might pay $600 more a month. It sounds a lot, but $600 more a month, and it's also a tax credit at closing, is not that bad if you're gonna have to choose between renting and buying.
Yep.
So you just have to have a plan. And if it's going to be a 2-year, 4-year, or 6-year, it doesn't get you out of the housing market. It just gets a different mindset and a different plan.
I like that idea about developing a plan, because
Mhm.
for a lot of people, they don't do that. Well, Deb, I'm thinking of buying a house in 2 years. Okay, that's great. What are the steps we need to do today up to those 2 years so we can be ready when we want to pull the trigger? People are like, oh, 2 years from now, 2 years comes and you're like, I didn't do what I should have done to clean up my credit, maybe. I didn't save the down payment I needed because I didn't have a plan.
Mhm.
Putting together a plan makes sense.
Yeah. And I've talked to some couples I sold a house to that have kids that are planning on buying. And we talked about what would their interest rate be? What would the payment be for a house that they could afford right now? And then my suggestion was, for 6 months, you put that into a savings account like you already had the house.
Smart.
And they didn't do so good the first 6 months, but they're getting better. They're reaching half their goal. And it puts them in this mindset. When I said, is it 2-year, 4-year, or 6-year plan? They're probably going to be a 2-year plan.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they're going to be okay. Yeah.
I like that approach, though, pretending you have the mortgage.
Yes.
Because I have a lot of people that on paper can afford things. But, I'm like, well, Deb, we're friends and you really like to shop, or, you're one of those people who goes out to dinner for a very expensive dinner every Saturday night. If you decide to buy your home, you might have to step back on your shopping sprees, and getting people to take a harsh reality. Okay, I'm going to stop shopping and see how it feels.
Mhm.
And in some cases, like you said, people like, I don't think I want to buy it. I think I want to keep shopping instead. Nothing wrong with that, but you may be better off, curbing the spending a little bit and saving and buying a home. Something like
Saving and
that.
budgeting are two words that is overused, because when people say they have a budget or people say they're saving, it's a very loose words.
Yeah,
Yes, I have a budget, but then they go and spend a lot going out to eat.
yeah,
If
yeah,
they just cut back 2 times a month,
yeah.
that's
Makes
maybe
a
like
big
$400.
difference. That made me chuckle. Yeah, yeah. I save money every month. Last month I saved $8 now. It
Good
might
for
not
that.
be enough to help you in your mortgage payment. So, Deb, what's the best way for people to reach out to you if they'd like to talk to you about making a plan to buy a home in the future?
If they do Facebook, I'm Deb Forgione, real estate broker at Leah Realty Partners. That's a good way to reach me. I also have a website, Deb Forgione at leahrealty.com. My cell number is direct 978-761-1395. So those 3 different ways, but I can tell you this, all you have to do is Google Deb Forgione. I come up. I have been around so long. I've actually seen like posts that they refer back to like the 1990s when I did Primrose Village. Like, I can't be forgotten if you have Google.
That's cool. Hey, Deb, I appreciate you coming on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you, Kevin.